You have dreams, I have dreams, we all have dreams, but what does it take to get our dreams to come true? Is it just a fantasy that we think up one day and then it comes true the next?
Nope.
Outside of the lottery, in order for dreams to come true, in the majority of cases, it's years of laying a foundation, of planning, mapping, and then executing in order for our amazing dream to come true. Whether that be getting into your dream college, winning the championship game, or getting your dream career, it's all gonna take hard work. So in this video, we're gonna dive into the hard truths about making your dreams come true. I've got 3 things you absolutely need to know to make your dreams a reality. Of course, we've got to dive into a real life example. And of course, it's gonna be about sports and a championship game. If you watch any of my other videos or know who I am as a former college basketball athlete, this year in March, I was watching the women's basketball NCAA final game. It was LSU versus Iowa. And before Randy in the comments pipes up and says,
"No, I didn't see it because nobody watches women's basketball."
Actually, Randy, 12 million people watched this game and it broke records for streaming on ESPN Plus. So not a good look. Just don't even type it. As I'm watching the first half of that game, actually both teams get in some foul trouble from their starters. LSU puts in Jasmine Carson. And Jasmine, being a solid player, has averaged 8 points per game the entire season. So as Jasmine comes in off the bench, she lights a spark for LSU because she shoots a perfect 7 for 7 from field goal range and a lights out 5 for 5 from 3-point land. She actually has 21 points by halftime, which blows everybody's mind. You know, the 12 million that we're watching, and especially Iowa, because what Iowa did before that game is they scouted each player. And I can guarantee that they were thinking, oh, we gotta watch out for Jasmine. She scores 25 points a game. So they weren't prepared for her performance, but Jasmine was prepared for an opportunity. And some people might say, oh, she just got lucky. Like she just got hot. As a college athlete, I know that Jasmine prepared for this opportunity and laid the foundation for years, probably since she was 5 years old. She was prepared mentally and physically. So mentally, she was in a great headspace. She wasn't saying self-talk like, I'm not a starter, so what does it matter? She was most likely visualizing herself making shots in the championship game days leading up to that. She was ready mentally to fulfill her role instead of wishing that her role was something different than what it was. So she was putting shots up every day. She had the right conditioning to be able to step in and perform. Her physical preparation was committed to the long game. Even though she hadn't maybe played as much as she wanted or made as many shots in the games leading up to the championship game, she was playing that long game and she was committed to the process rather than solely focused on the outcome in the short term. So now I want to dive into those 3 steps of how to actually make your dreams a reality. And this could be applied to whatever it is. So for Jasmine Carson, it was winning an NCAA championship. For me, I wanted to become a college athlete. I wanted to get a good degree. I wanted to have a family. So it can really apply to whatever your dream is. These are the 3 steps you need to lay out and then follow through with. First step is dream it. Sky's the limit. Don't set yourself any barriers. Try a ton of stuff. So if your dream is to be a college basketball player, maybe go to a basketball camp like my little girl did this week, and she got a bunch of pictures with some of her favorite athletes. Ask them questions. Do you like playing on this team? Do you like playing college basketball? For me, when I was in nursing school, I was dead set. I thought I wanted to be an OR nurse. Then I went and actually shadowed some OR nurses, and I found that they stood on their feet all day. They were only bringing instruments to the table. They didn't get to do anything with the actual operation. And I didn't necessarily love the smell of burning flesh, so I changed my specialty like pretty quick. It's important to ask the questions, to dream it, and then to shadow, and then to actually exercise some of the steps so that you have a clear picture of what your actually destination is, right? You don't want to have a romanticized version of an endpoint and then do all this hard work and not love the outcome anyway. Me, for an OR nurse, I thought I was actually going to be assisting on surgeries. Part of the dreaming process is believing. So some of that might be removing negative self-talk or limiting beliefs that you have.
Well, I can't do med school because I'm too stupid and I'm not good at exams.
But the over, under, around version is, I really struggle with exams, but I'm gonna get a tutor. I'm gonna get in a good study group. Like, make a plan around that.
I can't be a basketball player because I'm too short.
Ever heard of Muggsy Bogues? He was pretty short, but he turned out to be an amazing player and made it into the NBA. So dreaming it is visualizing it, shadowing people, make sure you have a clear picture of what it is, getting rid of limiting beliefs. Stop putting this thing on a pedestal. There's most likely dumber people than you that achieved it, okay? Just being real. Those are the steps of dreaming it. In a second, I'm gonna get to one of the hardest parts, but the most important parts if you actually wanna achieve it, but first, mapping it.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Cheesy, corny, but true, okay? So map it out. What are the steps, maybe with micro deadlines, that are gonna help you get to your dream? So let's say that it's an online course.
I want to launch an online course.
And then you don't do anything for the next month. I want to launch an online course in 2 months. So every day I'm going to write one module of content. All of a sudden we have a map and a plan to be able to get closer to our dream. I want to be a soccer star. So I'm going to kick 100 goals every day. We have to map out where we're going in order to eventually arrive. And I think usually your dream, or whatever that person or achievement looks like, is usually multifaceted. So I gave a few examples of like putting up shots or doing modules. So if we go back to the athlete, yes, it's the physical ability to make shots, but there's also some intangibles. I needed to be able to be a leader. I needed to be able to get others around me to buy into doing the hard, to doing the preparation. So quick story is that in high school, we had early morning conditioning. In order to be able to play basketball, you've got to be conditioned to do so, right? So we had to be there at 6 a.m., which means we needed to show up by about 10 minutes before that. For a 16-year-old, that's pretty early. So what did everybody do when they walked in?
We're tired, we've got cobwebs in our eyes, we're grumpy.
And my dad said to me, hey, don't walk in there like you're half asleep, because then that is contagious and everybody else is half asleep. Walk in there like you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, kind of like it was the middle of the day, you've been awake for hours, and actually put a smile on your face before you start running sprints. Encourage people. He said, and that will become contagious, and pretty soon, first people will start to think, oh, she's okay, she's not tired, she's not complaining, maybe I shouldn't do that either. And he said, and pretty soon, everybody's spirits are going to be a little bit better, and everybody will start to root for each other and start to work together as a team for a common goal. You're right, Dad. I've got another video about sports lessons that my dad taught me right here if you know you're into like that whole life skills thing. Okay, we made it to step 3, which is execute. So mapping and planning, fantastic. But if you never actually put both feet in and do what you've planned out, nothing happens. So you got to show up and do what's on your map. You've got to execute regardless of what you feel like that day. That's one of the hard truths, because maybe we didn't get enough sleep the night before. Maybe our tummy hurts a little bit today. Maybe we've got some PMS going on. Maybe we scraped our knee. Maybe our back is hurting. Maybe our boyfriend broke up with us the day before. That's life. Life is gonna keep going. Life doesn't stop. For our dreams, for the perfect 72-degree weather in order for us to achieve our dreams. And when you map things out, you're probably gonna have a set amount of reps, a set amount of shots, which is great. You wanna get that done. But consider that a minimum and start to challenge yourself based on the whole point is to improve. So am I going through motions? Am I checking boxes? Or am I improving 1% each day? And remember, as you're executing and practicing, practice it hard. Don't just run up those hills on race day. Run up hills when you're practicing. One of my favorite illustrations of this is one of my favorite movies, American Sniper, when they're showing the BUDS training, the Navy SEAL training, and they're on the ground, they're doing foot kicks, and the instructors are spraying them in the face with a hose at full throttle. The natural inclination for humans when something comes at us from this direction is for us to turn, right? For us to avoid impact, avoid discomfort. And so that's what happened when they hit Bradley Cooper's character in the face. He turned this direction. The instructor said, don't look away, look directly at me and take this crap. Now, it might have been a little bit more colorful language, but he basically said, don't turn away from discomfort. I'm preparing you for war. I'm preparing you for battle. You got to take it. And it's not gonna feel good. So don't forget to practice and prepare at game speed. Going through the motions, doing things, anything less than game speed is not really gonna help you get that 1% better each day. Okay, so the last part of execute is perform under pressure. Whether that's the championship game, whether that's the qualifying test for whatever school you want to go to, whether that's the live webinar that you've spent time preparing and attracting clients to in order to hit revenue goals, whatever it is, step in and perform under pressure. The one thing that sports taught me was that if I practice over time consistently, I see that I'm improving. So it helped me to understand all this work is doing something and gave me the confidence to keep going. So you're gonna have those wins along the way, but what about when you step in and you miss the free throw at the end of the game? You go 0 for 12 instead of Jasmine's amazing 12 for 12 performance. Here's the secret when that happens. The elite keep going. They keep moving forward even when they fail and they make mistakes. And that's the secret to winning, is keep moving forward. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what your process is on the way to achieving your dreams, what stood out to you from this video, and if you haven't seen that women's final game, maybe you'll watch it, because even at 36 years old, Jasmine and LSU really inspired me. Their opponents inspired me as well. Definitely inspired my little girl, who is starting to have a love of the game as well. Enjoy. See you guys next video.